Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. I'm going to apologize a little bit at the beginning here. I am a little bit under the weather, but I wanted to get my sketch with me done for the Leave Nothing Behind paper pack here. And so we're just going to go with it. I have selected a sketch that is actually one from a current virtual crop that's going on right now. It is a National Scrapbook Day 2022 sketch. It is on our Creative Memories blog, and as I've done with the others, I will put a link in the description box to the sketch, and this one has instructions as well. So I will, of course, put the cutting instructions up as I'm cutting, as usual with my videos, but you can also go ahead and grab them from the blog as well. For this sketch, we actually need quite a few sheets of paper because we're going to be cutting strips and we're going to be cutting circles. So I've picked this little camp paper, the terracotta sheet with the canyons on the back, the bamboo that has the pine tree on the back, the dark green that has the paw print on the back, but then also the paw print. Actually, I am going to take out one of these because, well, I'm going to leave this in the series, but I think we're just going to cut from one of those. I am going to use this lighter green from the camp paper as the base of my layout. And then you also need a sheet of white cardstock. This is going to be a single page layout and it's going to be gorgeous, but we are using quite a few sheets of paper with it. So for my white cardstock, I've used one of my index sheets from, this one's the Botanical Burst Green, and essentially it's a free sheet of cardstock, so you might as well use it, and I'm going to use it today for our project. I'm going to set that aside as well, and we are going to start cutting. You also will need your circles, your custom cutting system circles. We will be using all 3 circles and all 3 blades, the red, the blue, and the green. Pull out your 12-inch trimmers, and we are going to cut 8 3/4 inch by 2 1/8 inch strips with our paw print and with the green. So we're going to start by, I'm going to do 2 1/8 first, and that's in between the grid lines here. And then I've also put up a little cheater on my trimmer here that if you have a 0 centering ruler, this was a tip that came from the team I'm on, and if you have a 0 centering ruler, you can make a copy of your 0 centering ruler and you can use it to help you get your exact measurements here. 3/8, 5/8, 7/8 are all visible now a little bit quicker and easier. So I'm doing the 2 1/8 first from one side of the paper, and then I'm going to do it for the other side as well. There we go, getting it lined up both on the top and in the bottom. So I know I'm going to flip this because I know I'm going to use the opposite side of the page. No problem there. And then we'll take off we'll just stack them. And it needs to be 8 3/4 inch. So we're going to cut 8 3/4 inch with both of our strips here. And this is scrap for our cards. I think we'll find out coming up for sure, but next is our bamboo, and I want it to be cut through the actual sticks of bamboo. So let's do 2 1/8 out of this one. There's 1/8 on the top, 1/8 on the bottom. And Then I'm going to grab my terracotta sheet and do the same. And I'm actually going to run this one also with the lines going the same way, basically. Okay. I'm going to take those two and do my 8 3/4 again. More for our cards, and finally our camping page here at 2 1/8 again. Set that other piece aside for right now. I believe we will need those again. 8 3/4. But I just wanted to put those aside for right now, just so that way I can get us sorted out initially again here, because I think what we're going to be doing is pulling out our 13 by 13 mat with my little grippy pad first, so that it won't go skidding around on me while I'm trying to cut. Here we go. Okay, so using the inside edge of the medium custom cutting system pattern. So here's this. Here are my strips. We need to use the red blade, cut a circle off of just one end of each piece. So we need to leave a 1/2 inch edge around the side, which is where our mat will come in handy, because we can see a 1/2 is our next grid line here. So you want a 1/2 inch circle. So if we center this, I guess we could use those lines that are already there on the circle. You can see where our circle will go in about a 1/2 inch, because here's our 6 and there's our 6 1/2. Ooh, looks pretty good. So hopefully I'm reading this correctly. Okay, so grab your red blade and we are going to just cut out this little 1/2 circle piece. Okay, make sure I've got this in my track. Here we go. So we're making a, basically we're gonna cut whole circles later, and these will kind of nestle in of a different paper. So we're gonna have some little pieces for our cards again. We'll see how that works out or doesn't work out for me if I wind up using those. And here we go with this again. Get this on, let's put this so it's down here. Get us somewhat centered here. And this is coming back out to the 6 here, so where the end of our circle is kind of lining up with the 6 on our mat. There we go. Let's see here. It's a good thing these are a little bit see-through, so we can actually really see what we're doing here. There we go. All right, not exact, but close enough. I'm still gonna go with it. We are going to use it. There's that again. Let's see, where's our center? Is right around there, and then we need to come over to the 6 again. So there we go. And I guess if you want to get crazy and do 2 of these at a time, you can. Don't always try to be perfect, but with this, sometimes it's a little bit easier to try to be a little more precise with some of these more sensitive cuts here. Bring that out just a little bit. All right. There we go. Oh, these are going to be some fun cards coming up too. All right, where's my 6.5 again? Here. Here we go. Getting this lined up again. Okay, so that is that. Next, we need to use the inside edge of the medium custom cutting system circle pattern and the green blade. Cut circles with all 5 of our papers again. So grab those scraps you set aside, and we need to cut circles out of all 5 of our sheets. Medium circle, medium circle with the green blade on the inside, so you can go close to the edge because the red blade cuts closest to the template and the blue the furthest. The green is in the middle. All right, there's one, and this is the one we need 2 of because we're going to use that dark green as well. Okay, you know what, I'm going to kind of fussy cut this one a little bit so we get both a house and a tent out of this one, because you will see these circles don't get used for mats. You actually do see the print from the paper. So that one I think was probably just as well the one to fussy cut. Otherwise, I do try to save paper as much as possible where I can. Okay, that's number 4, and here comes our last one. Let's see what they're going to have us do next. This was a perfect, not feeling so great project for me because the instructions are there and I don't have to figure it all out and dimensions, but I did need to adjust the papers to the leave nothing behind paper pack. Okay. Okay, so now we need to get out our sheet of white cardstock. And setting my circles aside, we need to cut rings. So we're using the medium. We're going to cut first with the blue, then with the green blade. So we're going to cut 4 rings and although we have 5 papers, and on the instructions it says to cut 4 rings, first cutting with your blue blade and then with your green, because like I said earlier, the blue cuts furthest and then the green is in between and then the red. But because we're cutting rings, we're cutting from you need to keep your big piece of paper secure first. So you cut your interior part of your ring first and then the exterior. There we go. So here's one ring. So it'll look like, well, we're going to have another circle for our cards, and here's the ring, if I can actually pick it up. There we go. And it says just to cut 4 of them, but I'm going to cut 5, and you know, if I wind up using it later for the card, I'm okay with that. I just don't know why we have 5 circles we cut and they only want 4 rings. So I'm sure we'll see that later in the instructions, but I figure this way I'm prepared. If I have the extra ring, it's not that big of a deal, especially since I know I'll be making at least 1 card with the scraps coming up. So number 2, I did not get all the way through, so I'll be pulling my scissors out for that one coming up. And that's okay, that's what scissors are for. This is also another good reason to use your index sheet, because then you're not using up your actual white cardstock. That one felt like it went all the way around. Let's see. Nope. Goodness gracious. Oh, it did, basically. There we go. Just wasn't coming loose nicely. Okay, so here's number 4. Oh, that one definitely came loose. And our 4th still with the green now. I just did the blue. It's easier a lot of times just to lift one edge, but you don't want to move your circle because you want your ring to be even. All right. Or as even as possible anyways. I'm going to do one more. Here we go. Okay, blue and now green. Okay. So I'm going to grab my micro tip scissors. And here we go. Just get this in here to grab this little piece. It's basically been scored. It just needs to go through the rest of the page. There we go. And now this other end as well. There we go. Still a nice ring. Okay, so we have our rings. And then you can also crop your photos. Okay. So we also need I know I need one more circle. So I'm going to leave out my cutting mat, but we also need to get 2 4x6 mats. And I wrote down to use the bamboo for this one. So you can figure out which one matches up on your pieces of paper later. So I'm going to cut 4 inches from my bamboo sheet, and then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and cut it at the 6 to get 2 4x6 mats for my layout. And then, yes, we do need one more smallest custom cutting system circle. And for me, I need to use the paw print. And we're going to go around the outside with the red blade. So we're going outside with the red blade on the small circle. Again, seating my blade first while my circle's tipped a little bit. There we go. And that one just came right off. And then we do need one more ring from our cardstock. I would have done this before. I read the instructions. I just, like I said, my brain, I think, is a little slower from being under the weather here. But that's okay. We can just shift papers here. We need the largest circle, inside edge. And we're going to do another ring. Green blade first, and then the red. So here we go. Green first. I felt that one not catch. There we go. And red. So this one's going to be very thin. Okay. So here we go. There's our next ring, and I do believe now we're set to put our layout together. So I'm going to grab my light green sheet here, and I'm going to go ahead and do this on my 13 by 13 mat, mostly so I can make sure I get my stripes and my circles placed nicely. I'm going to start with the paw print across the top, and then the dark green, bamboo, terracotta, and campground. Oops, clearly I need to move some things around a little bit. They do have a little bit of space showing in the layout for each of these. So I think if we go over a little bit, that might be better. I don't want to place these exact because we know I've got to stick them down, but at least this gives me an idea. We're at about a ½ an inch here. And then the circles go bamboo, terracotta. I've got my camp here, dark green down here, and this, and then we're putting rings. I don't know, are rings going on top of these? Yes, they are. Okay, so maybe we'll put our rings on first using our parchment, and this is going over here. I might actually even move it up a little because I like how it looks with the darker. Well, no, I don't think I can because we've got to put our other pictures on as well, and they have these kind of going this way. So this is what it's going to look like. I'll add the rings first, and then we'll start sticking everything down. I do think that let's see, it actually might wind up being closer to 3/4, and then we'll put these up here and see it's kind of fits in that little notch we cut. All right, at least now we know what we're doing here. Where did I? Grab out my parchment board here. If you haven't seen my parchment board here, I use electrical tape on a sturdy piece of cardboard. Electrical tape is one of the few things that will stick to parchment paper, and since we're not cooking with it, I'm really not too worried about it. And use it just with your repositionable tape runner, and the pieces that go onto the parchment stay in the tape runner, which is nice because then that way you're not creating a sticky mess all over your 13 by 13 mat. So there are instructions on how to cut a photo to go inside this, and since we've used the repositionable tape, you can always grab your multi-purpose tool when you go to put your picture in and just lift up gently, and this piece will come up nicely, or the way they have it cut, your picture should just center right in the middle of there. Okay, here we go. And there, I knew there was a reason we cut 5 rings. Oops. And I just put the tape on the wrong side, which is okay because it just honestly rubs right off. Don't forget to flip over your rings unless you're using white cardstock, and then you don't have to worry about it. But since I use the index sheet, I don't want to have my botanical burst showing. I want to have the white cardstock side showing. So I need to pay attention to that. Here we go. We are. Okay, last one. And if your papers don't work with white, then pick a different sheet of color cardstock that goes with all of your papers. I mean, I could have used hot fudge or maybe dark green cardstock, but since it called for the white, I just went ahead and went for the white, and it definitely is making our little circles pop here. Okay, I may actually do this with the repositionable as well, just because this looks like it's going to be a little bit tricky to stick these down. Yep, and let's just do it this way. So about a 1/2 inch down and a 1/2 inch in is right here. Using the markings on my 13 by 13 mat. Here we go. Okay. And then it looks like we'll leave maybe another 1/2 inch in between the strips here. Oops, got that one going on crooked. There we go. Let's hope we have enough space with the 1/2 inch in between. If not, this is exactly why I use the repositionable tape this time, which I don't normally do for these larger strips. But I had a feeling that just in case, since this one is, you do kind of have to pay attention, and it is a little bit tricky. But like I said, I think it's just going to be really gorgeous. I'm already seeing how pretty it looks already. Yep, I'm going to have to move these up. Okay, grab your reposition multi-purpose tool. Just run it right under there. It looks like we need to be a little bit closer, maybe closer to about 1/4 inch. And move this one up. And that was just the tape coming up. It was not ripping my paper at all. That sound did not sound super pleasant, but it's okay. It's just the tape coming up. And so like I said, that's exactly why we used the repositionable this time. Oops, and here I can just rub that off a little bit. And now we have space for our last one. It's still a little close, isn't it? This one's crooked. Okay, you're coming up again. So I'm okay 1/2 inch in, but I probably need to be about just 1/4 inch up. So I think I have a little too much space up here. Oh, that one's also a little bit crooked. Here we go. There's something else throwing it off a little bit here. Straighten that out. All right, looks better. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this one up and move it up a little bit too, just so that way we don't have such a big margin at the top, and space it a little bit better with the rest of the strips. There we go. Okay, so not perfect, but good. And I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the repositionable, and these are going to go kind of closer in here. So we'll give it about that 1/4 inch or so again to frame our circles. There we go. Oops, it looks like it's upside down. Let me fix that. Here we go. Oh, much better. camp one. So adorable. They really did a great job with this paper pack. We have so many national park pictures and camping pictures. I can see we've got just so many wonderful options to use. No, I probably should put this one up and down since that's the way I put the other ones. There we go. And now our other circle can go down over here. Whoops, I almost did that one upside down again. Between those two, and now this one actually is a little bit under here, which is okay because we've got our repositionable tape again. And I'm just going to lift this edge just a little bit. I didn't go quite all the way to the edge. And this is just going to stick under here, going out a little bit at an angle. Here we go for one of our photos. And then I can easily lift this again and put my photo on my page. And now our second photo is going to overlap this one a little, so I probably won't put so much tape on this end. There we go. Now I don't have to worry about when I lift it having that little bit of tape there. So this is going at an angle this way up here. You can see how those are going to overlap a little bit, but should be beautiful. Now, okay, so your photos are going to go here, here, here. And we need a sticker or two to finish this out. And let's see here. So I'm actually thinking of using a couple of these badges. On the picture, they have a sticker up here and then one towards the bottom as well. I don't think that pops as much. I like that one there. I'm going to grab my little foam squares here, put a couple on here. So we're going to stick this one up here. And then I think I'm going to... So we have this terracotta color, we have the green and the dark green all in our layout. So I want to, I think, put the terracotta one down here, and I think I want to put the other green one up here, maybe. Yeah, I don't like that down there. Or we could easily put them both down here, but I think I like bringing the green up and bringing our eye up. So let me grab a couple more foam squares for this one. I really like it in that left corner, but I don't know with putting the picture on if there's going to be space. So let me try this real quick. See if I can get this on with the foam squares just in the corner. If I angle it, the other one I had more up and down, but I think this one, if I angle it, it'll work to fit my picture under because the foam squares are raising up the sticker. And we'll have this little guy in the bottom. Down here by our other pictures. All right, so we're done. We have our layout complete. I will go ahead and grab our scraps and we'll put together a scrap card as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do our cards. I've grabbed one of our mats. This has like a canyon scene on it, but I'm going to cut it with our large circle using my blue blade, so that way I can mount it on to our large circle we have left over from this sketch here. There we go. And then that'll kind of frame that out. So it's the large circle on the inside with the blue blade. here we go, going on to the white. I've got our card here. Grab my tape runner. Put this on this way. Just to give it a little extra depth and dimension. You can see the little white is a slightly different color than the white of the canyon piece. And we had our little squares, and so I'm having our little paw prints kind of going up to the canyon at the corner of our card here. This bottom corner is going to be our bamboo piece. And then we'll have it heading up towards our canyon at the angle here. And then we'll find a little saying to put on our bamboo part from our sticker sheet. There we go. This is going to go just in this bottom right corner of our blank card kit card base. There's our bamboo, and maybe our hiking trail one looks to be a good one to put on here, because then you're kind of hiking towards all the canyon there. Let's see if it also makes sense to put any of our half circles on this one. I have some half circles on our other card I'm thinking about putting together here. To help frame this out a little bit more. We have these two lighter ones here that we can put on either side of our piece. That one feels like it's forcing it. So either the interior of that, or I don't think it works on the white really. You kind of want to be able to see it, so we can kind of do this so then it really does draw the eye to our sticker here. And here we go. Oops. Working on trying to get this centered a little bit. There we go. There's our first card. And just a little simple, hiking trail saying on it. Let me get another little piece of tape under there. It wasn't sticking very well. So there it is, a very simple, probably, you can send some pictures of your recent camping trip to whoever receives this card. And now I've taken 3 of our other ones along with some of our scraps here, and then this other circle was one of the little circles we cut. I'm going to go ahead and place, this is another one of our blank cards. I'm going to go ahead and place our strip on the top and the bottom here. My actual regular tape runner here. So the terracotta at the top and the dark green at the bottom is going to serve to highlight our camp scene here. Put that on a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to straighten it out using my multi-purpose tool again. It just is so handy. There we go. And this one's going to go in the middle, if I can pick it up. And making sure I am up and down here. We're going to center this over the other 2. And now we're going to place our circle in the middle, and then we're going to frame it with our opposite half circles or partial circles that we had from doing our little end pieces. So I'm going to put the dark green at the top, and I'm going to put the terracotta at the bottom. And now we're going to find a sticker. I kind of want to use the campfire sticker because we've got these little campfires on the paper. I think I am. This would be a great congratulatory card for somebody, the "You're on fire, congratulations" kind of thing. Oops. There we go. I think that's it. We're going to keep it simple. So we have our little "You're on fire." I think that would be a really cute congratulations card, maybe even for a graduate. And our little hiking trail, kind of thinking of you type card, but just a couple of good little just scrap general purpose cards. We do have some extra circles that you could easily take and either place stickers on or, create, cut circles out of your designer paper a little bit smaller and create an effect similar to what we did here, except for you would cut your designer paper inside and then just adhere it to and then you could easily do a card with 4 of these going up and down as well. This one I think is just a scrap, but otherwise I've used what we had that were the smaller pieces on here, and we have some others from cutting circles out of the larger sheets, but we can use the larger sheets for other things. Hope you all enjoyed seeing this project. I will link it below. Just a cute page for any occasion, any book, national park visit, whatever you would like. Until next time.